Hi there, everybody. Welcome to another album review. My name is Christian Eschbach. All right, everybody. This is going to be a fun album review. We're going to do two albums for the price of one. They're both greatest hits albums. They're both from Megadeth, and they were both released within 5 years of each other. This one was released in 2000. This one was released in 2005. This one was released to meet contractual obligations. This one was just released, I guess, to make up for the shortcomings of this one. Theoretically, I don't know. I did some checking online to see why and what's up and stuff like that. Okay, so this one is Capital Punishment: The Megadeth Years. This was specifically to fulfill the contract with Capitol Records. It has two new songs on it: Kill the King and Dread and the Fugitive Mind. Kill the King, pretty decent tune. Dread and the Fugitive Mind, meh. From there, we go chronologically from what would have been the newest down to the oldest. There is one album, actually, there's technically two albums not represented on here at all. Hidden Treasures is not represented on here. And Hidden Treasures and the first album, Killing Is My Business. Those two aren't represented. The reason why Killing Is My Business is not represented is that was not released under Capitol Records. And I'm pretty sure Hidden Treasures was released under Capitol Records, but Hidden Treasures was B-sides, soundtracks, and rarities. And because the soundtrack stuff would have been released on different albums from different labels, that makes them a little iffy to get a hold of, which explains a lot of the track differences that happen between these two albums and why some tracks appear on here but not on here. Now, I was reading online that one of the biggest complaints about this album was how much newer stuff, as in songs from Risk and songs from Trust, were on here, whereas stuff from the older albums was ignored. I've already covered why Killing Is My Business is ignored. There are two songs on here from Hangar 18. There's one song on here from Peace Cells. One song from So Far So Good So What. Realistically, outside of the cover song and maybe Mary Jane, they picked the best song off of So Far So Good So What. And coincidentally, I believe it's the only one that appears on here off of that album as well. Peace Cells, as much as that used to be my favorite Megadeth album until probably Trust came out, over the years, I've come to realize that most of that album, while it is a really good album, and to listen to the album as a whole is great, standout songs, Peace Cells really is the standout song on that album. You know, that it makes sense that that's the only one that made it on here. Then now I'm going to go through I'm going backwards on this, sort of, or out of order. So let's get the beginning on this one. We got Kill the King, Dread, and the Fugitive Mind. So they put the two newest songs up the top, which is great. Get those done out of the way. Kill the King is actually pretty decent, like I said. Crush 'em, I like it a lot better now than I did when it first came out. Even still, is it one of Megadeth's better ones? Not necessarily, but it's not a horrible song either. Then we get into the Trust songs. We've got Use the Man, Almost Honest, the Cryptic Writings. I kept calling the album Trust, sorry. The Cryptic Writings album, my bad. Off the Cryptic album writings, we got Use the Man, Almost Honest, and Trust, which is cool. And then we've got A Tout le Monde and Train of Consequences off of Euthanasia, which pretty much, yeah, that covers that. Sweating Bullets, Symphony of Destruction off of Symphony for Destruction, or Countdown to Extinction. There are other songs that definitely off of Countdown should have been included in here, I'd say. Hangar 18 and Holy Wars, The Punishment Due from Rust in Peace, which I'm fine with that. That's all that really needed to be included off of there. And then in my darkest hour, like I said, off So Far So Good So What, and Peace Sells off Peace Sells. I really like the going backwards. I thought that was a really nice thing. Most greatest hits tend to mix the songs around, throw them around in different orders and that, stuff like that. I like that they gave this an actual format. I thought that was a really nice touch. Something you don't get often enough. Especially going backwards too, because usually when you do see it going for like my Tom Petty double album Greatest Hits, it's going forward, starting at the beginning, working away, and that's a common thing. So to see it going backwards to forward, that's a really nice touch. I really like that. As a contractual obligation album, which a lot of greatest hits actually are, believe it or not, this is pretty good. I didn't mind it. It's out of print, but if you can find it and get your hands on it, it's a good one to have. It covers the early days. And while it does have Crush 'Em on there, which is the only song from Risk on this album, I don't mind it being on there. Plus, it's at the beginning, so it's over and done with pretty quick. My thoughts, my opinions, my views. Let me know what you think about this album. Do you have this one? Do you think I'm being too hard on this one? Am I being too nice on this one? I don't know. Okay, now we're going to get into the second one. This is Megadeth's Greatest Hits, Back to the Start. Now, this one has a very similar track listing. The difference is this one definitely does the track listing like a classic greatest hits where they're kind of all mixed all over the place, which I got no issues with that. And I even like some of the songs that they switch out and some of the ones that they put in. So we got Holy War's Punishment Due opening up the album, In My Darkest Hour, then Peace Sells, Sweating Bullets. Okay. Then we got our first switch out. We got Angry Again, which appeared originally on the Last Action Hero soundtrack. Great to see that one on here. I think Angry Again was a great tune, and it's one of the reasons I still listen to the Last Action Hero soundtrack regularly. A Tout le Monde, I really do prefer the one with Christina. I cannot remember her last name. When I listen to the original and her vocals are missing, it really is better with her vocals on it. I really do think so. We get into Trust, decent, Then we got Kill the King. So they threw that song back in here in the middle of the album, which was really cool. It is interesting to see a song that was on a greatest hits move over to a greatest hits, and it's that's all it ever appeared on. So that's kind of nice to see it get that type of exposure. And from when I read a line, I believe that was under Dave Mustaine's insistence. I guess he really kind of wanted to give it some extra exposure. Symphony of Destruction. Then we get a song finally off of Killing Is My Business. We got The Mechanics, the only song worth putting on here off Killing Is My Business. And even then, as much as I love Mechanics, I'm not a fan of the Megadeth version of Mechanics. I actually prefer the Metallica version of Mechanics. And I do mean Mechanics, not Four Horsemen. Because yes, I do have the Metallica version, which I have covered in one of my previous reviews, Metallica Bay Area Thrashers. Which I think I covered when I was talking about a bunch of my rarity albums from Metallica, as I did a bunch of them together as a collection. Go check that out. Then we're on A Train of Consequences. Wake Up Dead. I was a little bit surprised to see this one put on here. I don't have a good reason as to why I was surprised to see this one on here. It might just be because it really wasn't a big song. Where are my notes here? Come on. Here we go. I got my tablet going. Okay. So I had mentioned this before when I was talking about the Peace Sells, and there are a lot of songs off that album I love. And when this is one of those songs, when the album's playing, I enjoy it. But to put it on a greatest hits, I couldn't even technically put it on it wasn't a hit, so if you want to get into that technicality, I mean, a lot of these weren't technically hits, but if you want to get in that technicality, it shouldn't be on here. But I don't even know if I'd put on Wake Up Dead on a best of album. I mean, maybe? Tough call, I guess. Hangar 18, then we're back to Dread and the Fugitive Mind. Which, once again, surprised that they took a song off of Greatest Hits and put it onto a Greatest Hits. Especially because Dread and the Fugitive Mind I didn't find all that impressive. Kill the King totally makes sense. Dread and the Fugitive Mind, I think there are other songs that definitely could have gone on there. Skin on My Teeth. Nice to see that one on there, man. That was definitely sorely missing from the other one. She Wolf. I love She Wolf, and I was so glad they put She Wolf on here and took out what is it? Took out Use the Man and Almost Honest. I as much as I enjoy those songs, She Wolf is definitely a better of those songs. And then you got the album finishing off with Prince of Darkness, and Prince of Darkness was probably one of my favorite songs off of Risk, so I'm cool with that one being on there. So the question is, which greatest hits is the greatest hits to buy? Oh, I forgot to mention something. I'm sorry. This album also has a bonus track on it. There's a hidden track, which is like this weird medley, stitched together compilation of bits and pieces of Megadeth songs that is really kind of annoying because when you start getting into it, it switches songs. Thought I'd make it through a review without sneezing. Yeah, it happens sometimes. All right. So the question is, would I buy this one or would I buy this one? I'd buy this one. And the reason why I would buy this one is this one. Okay, this one is really good. I do really, really enjoy this one. I like the way it's laid out. And yes, this one will get played still after this. The reason I like this one better is just because of some of the song choices I prefer better on here. I could, like I said, the only song on here I would have left out is "Wake Up Dead," and I would have put in. Mm, I would have taken out "Wake Up Dead," and I might have put in "Almost Honest," or the whole way around, I would have left out "Wake Up Dead," and I might have put in just another song off of Peace Sells. I might have went with "The Conjuring," maybe. Tough call. Um, but the whole way around, they're both really cool greatest hits albums. They both have different flavors to them. If you're looking for a more mainstream flavor where you want to hear like all the big hits kind of thing, whatnot, go with that one. If you want something that's got a little more robustness to it, a little more of a flavor palette with more little herbs and spices in it, man, I'm hungry now. This is the one to go with, okay? This is a great recipe on how to finish off a record label contract. This is a great recipe on how to put together a good greatest hits album. Honestly, if you can find both of them used, buy both of them used because they're both worth it. Just for the two different varieties, I'd recommend it used. I don't even know how I got both of these. I know they both came from Tracy, and it was funny because I think she did what I did, and she saw this one and went, "Oh, that's a really cool album," and saw that it says "Capital Punishment." Went and grabbed the album, didn't look at the track listing because she just likes Megadeth, so she grabbed the album, took it home. And then she thought, "Oh, Megadeth Greatest Hits," not realizing that she had a Megadeth Greatest Hits because she didn't have all these albums. So she didn't realize it. She picked up the Greatest Hits album, and I think that's how that happened. The only other way I could see it happening is this came from my father-in-law when he was out doing his garage sailing and whatnot. He found this album and ended up in my collection, and Tracy already had this one. It's the only way I see that happening. I don't know. Either way, I'm happy to have both of them, and I think that, you as a person looking to buy albums could be happy with either of them as well. The cool thing is this one's out of print, so if you can find this one, that makes this one kind of more of a collector's item. So if you're into that, go with it this way. Otherwise, folks, that is a great album as well. I have rambled enough. Thank you for watching. Leave me your comments down below. Let me know what you think. If you were to put together a Megadeth greatest hits from songs only going up until the Risk album, and well, I'll let you include, if you want to include, Kill the King or Dread and the Fugitive Mind. We'll say up to this album, okay? If you were to put a greatest hits album together up to this album, what would be on your greatest hits? Drop me a line down below. Remember, these are compact discs, so you could go up to 78 minutes, but 74 is the safety limit. Let's see those times to justify your selections. All right, folks. Otherwise, if you can hit the like button, the subscribe button, the bell for notifications, I would greatly appreciate it. It really helps out with the metrics. There's also a couple links down below. Please check those out. They go to some cool stuff I got out now. Otherwise, peace, love, take care.